Exams Vidhai is non-profit initiative by the students of IIITDM Kancheepuram. Now we are going to discuss the topic about environmental management. Here we go. The contents of this video chapter. First is introduction, the types of environmental disturbances, importance of environmental management measures, advantages of environmental management, and the conclusion. Yours comes with the introduction. An EMS is simply a collection of activities undertaken to ensure the environmental issues are managed. Environmental management system that incorporates the process of summarizing, monitoring, reporting, developing, and executing the environmental policies. The aim of encouraging an environmental system is to ensure the healthy state of our planet for future generations. It also works towards preserving all forms of life. Environmental management is described as a process to minimize waste and minimize complaints. Types of environmental disturbances. Land disturbances, land damage, pollution, overpopulation, deforestation, natural causes. Importance of environment management. It identifies the causes of environmental problems and is used to eliminate them. It improves communication and assigns responsibility. It saves money and makes good business sense. It's important to satisfy grant or other business terms. Environment takes into consideration all conditions required for the survival of corporate sectors. Absence of environmental consideration causes serious ecological damage. Poverty, lack of resources, population pressure, and global inequity of the resource uses are generating unparalleled social and environmental problems at national and global levels. Sustainable development has a tendency to strive a balance between the demands of economic development and the needs of management of environmental process. Environmental management plan. An EMS is based on the following components like policy, planning, implementation, quality assurance, control management review, stakeholder involvement, community environmental activities, These are required for ISO 14001. And whereas coming to the plan, environmental aspects, complaints, objective and targets, environmental management programs. Implementation, roles and responsibilities, training and communication, EMS document control, emergency preparedness and response. In check, measurement and monitoring, EMS, non-conformance and corrective action, records, EMS, and management review, and come back to the environmental policy. It's a drive for continuous improvement. Environmental management measures. Wind energy. Wind energy is a form of solar energy, and it also describes the process by which wind is used to generate electricity. Wind turbines converts the kinetic energy in the wind into mechanical power. Mechanical power can also be utilized directly. Windmill. Windmill is a machine that converts the energy of a wind into rotational energy by broad blade attached to a rotating axis. When the blowing air strikes the blade of a windmill, it exerts the force and causes the blade to rotate. The rotational movement of the blade operates the generator and the electricity is produced. The energy output from each windmill is coupled together to get electricity on a commercial scale. Afforestation. Activities for afforestation program includes planting and protecting trees with multiple uses with the help and restoration of green cover. Afforestation is the establishment of forests or stand of trees in an area where there were no previous tree cover. Many government and non-governmental organizations directly engage in afforestation programs to create forests and increase carbon capture. Afforestation is an increasingly sought after method to fight climate concerns, as it is known to increase the soil quality and organic carbon levels into the soil, avoiding distillations. Rainwater harvesting. Rainwater harvesting is the collection that storage of rain rather than allowing it to run off. Rainwater is collected from a roof-like surface and redirected to a tank, deep pits, and aquifers or a reservoir with percolation so that it seeps down and restores the groundwater. Tidal power or tidal energy. Tidal energy is harnessed by converting energy from tides into useful form of power, mainly electricity using various methods. Tidal energy is power produced by the surge of ocean waters during the rise and fall of tides. Tidal energy is a renewable source of energy. Tidal power. Tidal power is a form of hydropower that converts the energy from natural rise and fall of the tides into electricity. Tides are caused by the combined effect of gravitational forces exerted by the moon, the earth, and the sun. Tidal plants can only be installed along coastal lines. Coastal lines often experience too high tides and too low tides. On a daily basis, the difference in water level must be at least 5 meters. High to produce the electricity. Tidal electricity can be created from several technologies. The main ones being tidal barrages, tidal fences, and tidal turbines. Tidal barrages are the most efficient tidal energy sources. A tidal barrage is a dam that utilizes the potential energy generated by the change in heights between high and low tides. This energy turns a turbine or compresses air within turn creates electricity. Tidal fences are turbines that operates like giant turtles, whereas tidal turbines are similar to wind turbines, only underwater in the both cases of electricity is generated. When mechanical energy of tidal current turns turbine connected to a generator. The generator produces electricity, ocean currents, generates relatively more energy than air current because ocean water is 832 times more dense than air, therefore applies greater force on turbines. Tidal power is easy to install and renewable, having no direct greenhouse gases emissions and a low environmental impact. Because the ocean's tidal patterns are well understood, tidal energy is very predictable energy sources, making it highly attractive for electrical grid management. This sets it apart from other renewables that can be more unpredictable. However, adopting of tidal technologies has been slow, and so far the amount of power generated using tidal power plants is very small. This is due to largely the very specific site requirements necessary to the produce tidal electricity. Additionally, tide cycles do not allow match the daily consumption pattern of electricity and therefore do not provide sufficient capacity to satisfy demands that tidal powers. Rainwater harvesting. About two-thirds of Earth's surface is covered with water. However, the amount of usable water is very small. The growing population, industries, and agriculture practices needs a lot of water. The huge consumption of water is cause reduction of available water. We need to think about variety of ways to save and conserve our water resources. One of the very important preventive measure for conservation is rainwater harvesting. Basically, water comes from the surface with water. However, it gets collected in rivers which ultimately flows into the ocean, which means the usable water is lost in the oceans. We can catch the rainwater and prevent it from flowing into the oceans. There are two methods that we can use for this purposes. Rooftop rainwater harvesting. During the rainwater gets collected in the rooftop, it can be transferred to the storage tank through pipes. Often water contains soil particles and impurities. Water should be filtered to remove these impurities. Water stored in the storage tank can be used to fulfill our water needs. Instead of storage tank, water can also be transferred to pits in the ground from where it seeps into the soil. This seeped water gets added to groundwater, and so the level of groundwater increases. In the both ways, we can prevent water from flowing away. The roadside drains, the rainwater falling on roads get collected in the drains. The drains can be modified so that water entering in them gets directly seeps into the soil, or the water can be collected in the storage structure such as wells. Advantages of environmental management. An EMS management system helps reduce waste, maximizes resources, minimizes environmental risks, and improves sustainability. Conclusion. Our natural environment makes human life possible, and our cultural environment helps define who we are. It is therefore essential that our population and economic growth are environmentally sustainable. It's our duty to save environment. Thank you for attending.